Welcome, everybody. It's a brand new spanking edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, rock and roll Matty Goldberg. What's going on, guys? Long time no see. It's been a couple weeks. I was on vacation. I hope you guys had fun. What did you guys get up to when I was away?
You want to go first, Jimbo?
I'll go. I mean, I've really just been working. We kind of cleaned up the house a bunch. We got our spare room finally done. The XFL is the UFL is going through a bunch of turmoil as of last week.
Big surprise.
Where 4 teams might be relocating. So all the USFL teams, Michigan, Birmingham, Memphis, and Houston, are rumored to be potentially on the relocating block.
No. Wow, they gotta leave the Panthers behind, though. They can't.
Vegas
I know, right? Well, dude, Luke. So the reason for the Panthers, because the Panthers had a great season, and they were the only team that actually increased people there. Apparently, Ford Field's charging them about $500,000 every game.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a lot.
That's the reason they want to move the Panthers, because Ford Field is just—it's I forget. I think it's 4 home games a year, so it's about $2 million a year just to play at Ford Field.
Doesn't that seem like nothing?
I don't know, for a startup league that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, that's
a
lot,
move to Vegas. They got to move to bring back the Vegas Vipers.
Bring back. So the 4 markets they said that they're looking into were Boise, either Louisville or Lexington in Kentucky, Columbus, Ohio, and probably Orlando, Florida.
So you got to go to places where there's no NFL team.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. The fact that Michigan was increasing its viewership and everything, and more people were going to games year after year.
The way I describe spring football, I'm sorry to say this, I use this analogy. It's there's always a place, like a restaurant in your hometown, that keeps changing. And every owner is we're gonna survive, we're gonna kick ass. It's about the food, and they go out of business after a year. And that just seems like spring football. It's just guys
it
come
definitely
in.
Feels like the UFL ownership group is not doing a good job.
They put in new ideas. They're this one's gonna make it. We're gonna do this right. We're gonna do it this way. It just fails. I don't know. I just don't think it.
I don't know why they have to play at Ford Field, though. Why do they have to play at Go play at frickin' Eastern Michigan.
Yeah,
The reason they don't want to play Eastern Michigan is because they feel like it would be a bad TV product.
Well, it doesn't look great when you got an empty stadium.
Yeah, that's the other.
I agree.
Half of that. Yeah.
I mean,
these guys were playing at the Pontiac Silverdome.
I know.
Back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And that thing was the largest. I think it was 80,000 or some shit like that.
The dream, the goal would have been if they could have kept the Ford Field contract, because they would have just, once that MLS stadium gets built in a year or two, they would just probably move into that.
Oh, okay. Well, then suck it up and pay for, whatever.
Yeah, I think they're going through some bad financial times right now.
I get it.
This next year is a real make it or break it year.
$2 million seems like nothing.
I don't see how it seems like nothing to a startup, though.
It's a major league on network television.
What do you mean? Yeah, I'll
why
say
is the
that.
Rock? Why is the Rock disown the league?
The Rock doesn't do it, dude.
They don't know what to do. It's so hard. You can bring in all the experts. They still fuck it up. They can't get it right. And they can't figure it out. They
brought any experts in, Matty.
They were so dumb to start the season late. You got to start after.
That's the biggest thing. I agree 100%.
Even if you lose people by the end of the season, you're going to get people are still on a football high after the Super Bowl. So
I told you the take that I had, right? To start it Pro Bowl weekend.
Perfect. I agree with you, XFL. UFL, whatever you call it.
Everything's kind of up in the air. That's just, it's been dragging me down, because I'm
Jim.
Now we're going into next year, and it's gonna be the vibes are gonna be low, and then it's probably not gonna go great, and then the league's gonna fold. At least I always have the CFL.
Yeah, the
Will there be a
college, you
name
got the
change
NFL.
though if the league folds again?
No, if it folds, like if this doesn't work out, I would expect American spring football to take another like maybe 8 to 10 year
5 years.
No, I
hiatus.
mean for you.
Yeah,
Will
it's
you
gonna
have a
take
name
5 years.
change?
Oh, XFL Gym will still be XFL Gym forever.
I think you should go by your Christian name.
Ooh,
XFL Gym.
Terry
that's XFL
Jones.
Gym.
That's his real name, Terry Jones.
Yeah. Well, how are we starting this off when we have the death of Ozzy Osbourne?
Matt, you didn't even say how your week.
Maddie, wait, yeah, we'll get to Ozzy in a minute.
Oh, yeah, so
Okay,
this is what
pal. But I
happened.
heard
So
you left the house this weekend.
I actually did. I never leave the house. So there was a rich guy I played poker with from Texas. He's a disaster. He's a great guy, but he's a
Is
walking
his name
disaster.
Gilbert Arenas?
No.
Oh, okay.
So he rented a 4-story mansion in the Hollywood Hills.
Mhm.
Like legit nicest house I've ever been in. Elevators,
Whoa.
movie theater room, sauna, hot tub, pool on the roof. Sickest place I've ever been in.
You Airbnb it or something?
Yeah, he Airbnb'd it for 2 days.
Jesus.
Ridiculous. He put me downstairs, which was great because I could sleep because everybody was partying upstairs. All these guys that came, they must have done coke 48 hours straight. I've never seen anything like it where they're just fucking partying like nonstop. The only place they went was Jumbo's Clown Room.
Yes, my favorite.
And it got so crazy that there was a girl that was down to have fun. And from what I heard, none of the guys could get it up because they did so much coke.
Yeah, coke dick.
So they're all scrambling. And I went upstairs. There was this girl I played poker with. She's in her she's like 57. I don't want to. She was kind of flirting with me. There was a few moments.
And you're like, hey, I haven't done any coke.
Well, she was like, I liked her ween shirt. I woke up at 2 to go upstairs to thank my friend for having me there. And she's like, I want your shirt. She's like, I'll trade you my skirt right now.
Oh,
and I was like, I don't know. And then she started hugging me.
Yeah.
And I felt things start to like, and I got the fuck out of there because I wasn't wearing any, I sleep in just shorts. So I didn't want to pitch a 10 in front of everybody. So I ran downstairs.
You want to get lucky, Maddie?
She was the type of girl that was like, she had no bra on. She had her giant breast popping out.
Yeah.
Just looking for any guy to flirt with her all night. And I just felt like that's all she wanted, you know? Like she was flirting with everybody. But it was to see the debauchery was insane. And to see these guys not sleep for 48 hours, all these dudes are in their 40s and some in their early 50s. To see them not sleep was like nothing else.
I love it.
So I had fun. I was downstairs. We had a poker tournament Friday night. And then Saturday night, they just raged. And it was cool. And I hot tubbed and I had a little staycation. So
it's like a new Maddie Goldberg.
I had an eye thing. I had like an eye cyst and I was removed. It's benign. So that's good.
Now you're out in the world.
And just like, like everybody, I'm grieving the death of Ozzy. And sad. I mean,
what's your favorite Ozzy memory?
I mean, like I wrote about it. He's so many things because when I was really young, you just heard about this guy and he was like a real life, like Freddy Krueger to you or to me. Cause it was like, did you hear this guy bit off a head of a bat?
Yeah.
And he pissed on the Alamo and he eats chicken heads. And I would see the cover of his albums. He's like a werewolf. And I thought I was terrified of him. Like I thought if I met him, he would murder me, you know? And then I got into his music and that was awesome. And then like when the Osbournes came out, that was a whole other side that like as kooky as it is.
I'm the fucking Prince of Darkness, no bubbles.
You couldn't help but love him. And he's just a magical guy that lived his life to the fullest. That is on the Mount Rushmore of music, on top of being this like ridiculous, funny character in life that just gave so much love to everybody. Like I've just been watching so many videos of his concerts and how he get like. Never have I seen him kind of just go through the motions. And
I love
You
it.
haven't?
what's up?
You haven't seen him go through the motions?
Never.
Are you fucking kidding
Like
me?
I just see him clapping, going, "Let's go!" And then the way to go out where you do this final concert in your hometown with the guys that started heavy metal, with all the bands that were great, with all the fans, and you got to say goodbye. I mean, that's amazing. Like most of us are gonna die tragically. Some of us, you know,
It's pretty
Jim's
grim,
gonna
man.
die at a UXFL game because, like
I better.
Because they won't be playing and they're blowing up the stadium.
well, there'll be one person in the crowd and
Yeah.
a meteor will hit it and it'll be Jim or something.
I think
like,
Jim would be
we're,
okay with that. I don't think he would.
Like
I
if
think
you
it's
could
a good way
ask,
to go.
That's a tragedy.
if you could ask any rock star, like what would be the dream scenario of you like playing one last concert in my hometown with every band that we influenced, paying respects, with 100,000 people paying respect, and then you go. I mean, it's pretty wild. But Ozzy was just. It's a sad world when there's not an Ozzy Osbourne alive.
One of my favorite things to like watch, where you watch older clips too,
Yeah.
where he'd be talking during the concerts and whatnot. You couldn't understand a single word he
No, you
said.
can't understand anything.
And he goes right into singing, and it's perfect.
You got to watch the Osbourne show
I've
because
seen the Osbournes.
yeah, you can't understand a word. It's great.
It was really fun when they came out for sure.
He's a funny guy too. He's very funny, and
Was this like the first kind of like reality show like that?
he was the first.
Well, it was like you had
'Cause I
the real
remember it was, like,
world,
back
and then
then
you
it was,
might
like-
have had the Paris Hilton one, maybe. No,
Sure.
that
Yeah,
wasn't
maybe
even out
Paris
yet.
Hilton.
The
And I
Ozzy
remember
one really
Osbourne.
worked because if you listen to his music, you're like, this is the
Yeah.
godfather of heavy metal, of dark, scary music, and then you realize he's this kind of lovable, messed up character that just kind of sits around and just is silly and
Drinks a lot.
curses, drinks, gets upset with the dogs of peeing and shitting all over the place. But loves his like has such a beautiful relationship with his wife and kids, and there's Hulk Hogan.
Well, hold on. I got an Ozzy story.
Yeah.
So I was really into Ozzy as a child.
Yeah.
So much so that I when I was 6, we still did the Easter baskets because we're not Jews. And I followed the trail of peeps or the Easter eggs to the Easter basket. And my parents had Ozzy Osbourne's Ultimate Sin tape in there.
That's so beautiful.
It was
That's
awesome. That because that
And that's a
Shot in
memory
the
you'll hold
Dark
on
was
forever.
the video I loved.
The girl is so hot now.
Oh yeah, I mean a girl with demon eyes and leather pants. There's just nothing has ever
You
been
know what I
hotter in
love?
this world.
The lyric when he goes, "Never surrender." I love how he says that. I've been saying that. That's probably the most underrated Ozzy song.
Yeah,
Like they talk about Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley. Shot in the Dark is just as good as all.
and it's cool how his career, it went from, Black Sabbath to Randy Rhoads era to Zach Wild era, and it was just always good.
Don't forget Jakey Lee.
Jakey Lee. I forget about.
My buddy Dave Caston, and Luke knows him well. He's such a weird guy. He's the only guy I know that loves Black Sabbath, but hates Ozzy and Black Sabbath. So he only listens to
the big
Black
Dio guy in Black Sabbath.
Ronnie James Dio Sabbath.
And and the other guy.
I like Dio and Sabbath too, but
Who was the other?
Who
Was it David Coverdale that was in Sabbath for a minute?
I think this guy Ian Anderson or something.
No, that Ian Anderson's from Jethro Tull.
Well, I just find it funny.
Yeah,
but that is a great memory, and the beauty of life is I don't want to give your age up, but to remember at 6 years old, like, Quiet Riot was the first band for me like that when I was that age. So like that's such a beautiful memory.
My dad talks about Triumph. His was Triumph.
Oh, really? Triumph, very, Very underrated band.
Yeah, they were
First
around.
live
I don't
show
know
he
much
ever went
about
to.
him. Well,
Yeah, those are one of those
Ozzy was
bands
cool.
like you heard their music, but they never really had like an image, you know.
There's
Yeah.
like bands like Zebra and Rainbow, or the other bands that like I've heard that I've never.
Well,
Really
Rainbow's Dio.
okay.
I think.
Well, what about Zebra? Have you ever listened to Zebra?
Oh wait, maybe Rainbow. I'm just thinking of Rainbow in the Dark.
Yeah, that's a
No,
song.
it was Dio actually. It was
Like a
and
rainbow
it was Richie
in the
Blackmore from
But yeah,
Deep Purple. Yeah. Anyways,
so
I digress.
yeah, it's sad about Ozzy. Like, really love him. Been listening to a lot of his stuff.
So have I.
Re-listening. And the other thing too about Sabbath, their ballads I'll put against any other band. Solitude has always been my sad song. Planet Caravan, which I first heard Pantera do,
Right.
is just such an awesome song.
Yeah, it just didn't. It was so
They can
out of
play
left field.
ballads. Like, they were
Yeah.
better ballads than some of those 60s hippie bands that like lived for that shit. They could do it in their sleep.
All right, so Maddie wants to. Maddie's a Hulk Hogan sympathizer. Is what I'm hearing.
Okay, well,
That's what everybody's talking about around Palm
here's
Springs.
my thoughts on
I've seen both sides arguing like constantly for the last like 2 or 3 days.
I feel I've seen it like people have kind of had a hatred for Hogan in the last
Yeah.
decade or so, but
Sure.
it seems even worse since he
I
died.
know.
Like I haven't seen anybody being like, "Oh, miss you, Hulkster," kind of thing. You know?
Well, wrestlers are saying that.
Well, they're I don't know.
Jesse Ventura have any takes?
Right, union busting piece of shit.
Actually, defending him was Devon Dudley, who's a black guy. But I won't condone what Hulk Hogan said or did. I can't do that.
You could just Maddie. You could just say Hulk Hogan way better wrestler than person.
I don't know. Maddie's
He's
not
not
a fan
even
of
a
his
good
wrestling
wrestler.
either.
But what I can, this is what I can say. I didn't really follow Hulk Hogan the last 20 years. I never really got into like the whole sex tape. I heard about the racist shit.
You never saw the sex tape?
No.
The
By
sex
that
tape wasn't
time,
even
my
like I
life,
think that's where people were like, I was on his side with the sex tape.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
but by that time in my life, I haven't really been really following Hogan. So like, if I heard what he said, probably really disgusting, really deplorable. No defense.
Well, that part wasn't released. I don't know if anybody's actually saw that part.
But what I can say is this: I'm 49. When I was 8 or 9 years old, he was my world. He was my Batman. He was my Superman. I was a Hulkamaniac. I was in the age of being a Hulkamaniac. So when I hear he dies, I don't think of the idiot later in life that everybody hated. I think of being a 7 or 8 year old kid and him fighting, Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, and Roddy Piper, and believing and saying your prayers and your vitamins. So I see that guy.
Well, it's like a cartoon character dies in real life.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird because obviously he was never the guy he portrayed.
Well, no, when he dies as Hulk Hogan, not Terry Bollea or whatever his real name.
Well, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I'm always looking at it as I'm an 8-year-old kid, and that when he would come on my TV and when he would wrestle, I was genuinely nervous for him. I listened to him. I said my prayers. I ate my vitamins. I believed in him because I was like, if you're that age and you're a heterosexual boy or even maybe a gay boy, he was the guy. He was bigger than any fucking athlete at the time. He was bigger than Michael Jordan. I'm telling you. So for me, he was my Superman and my Batman. I can't condone what he did later in life. I obviously outgrew being a Hulkamaniac. But when I look at his death, I'm looking at it as an 8-year-old kid, and I'm like, my hero died. Now, obviously, he's not my hero. I don't condone the way he lived, but I'm looking at it as Hulkamania in the 80s.
Well, I was gonna say, even aside from the stuff he's done, not as a wrestler, Matty, like has just like progressing and seeing stuff like the information age, learning more about the behind the scenes of Hulk Hogan. Has that shaped your view on him at all?
No, because I also want to let the dead rest.
No,
I mean, unless you're O.J. Simpson like if you want to call him whatever, because he murdered 2 people. But Hogan was just
Never proven.
probably a piece of shit. And I think, you like he's dead. You try to find the good in people, and there was a
Where do
lot
you
of
put
bad.
him on like the list of wrestlers?
Okay, well, here's an interesting thing. As far as technique, he's not even in like the top 50. But Al Snow said it best. He was like, Hogan's the greatest wrestler because as a wrestler, your job is to create the greatest pop and to get over like nobody else. And nobody got over more than Hogan. So in Al Snow's mind, he's the greatest wrestler. So there's that, like, what is like the greatest wrestler? Sabu could be the greatest wrestler and nobody knows who Sabu is. Everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. One's a much better wrestler. So it's also it's like a Vince McMahon too, because Vince McMahon created this character. And the funny thing is he was thinking of using Dusty Rhodes as it. And like, I do think if Hogan didn't exist, maybe Macho Man could have been that. There's a couple other guys that could have maybe been Hogan, but maybe not. He came at the right place at the right time.
Maddie, I liken this to acting. Okay, so you have like these big stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually not the best actors. Best actors are more often than not the character actors. But there's just some sort of magnetism,
charisma.
Yeah, there's charisma that these leads have, these stars have that carry everything, and that's exactly what Hogan was. He had the look, he had that charisma. He just had it. He knew how to work the mic, the crowd, and everything.
Exactly.
And he was, like there are better wrestlers, there are even better, better people on the mic. But he just kind of had that combo that just was a perfect hero for that time.
Yes. About 8 years, he was like perfect. And then like the whole NWO thing kind of brought him back again.
Yeah, which was a great move too.
And I can't not deny that the last 15, 20 years of his life was absolute disaster. That he kept stepping on rakes and he exposed himself as not being a good person for sure. But like, I do feel like when somebody dies, it's best to not judge them.
You give him at least a moment.
Just like, what more can be said? He can't defend himself anymore.
Well, I mean, he's never denied our request for an interview, but
no.
It's not necessarily even a judgment. It's just weighing. You can't just say all the nice things about someone when they die. Like that's someone like that. Like,
well, you
if
can
it's
also
your buddy, sure. You don't talk about the time.
What people say, it's very complicated. I listened to Cornette talk about it, and he's like, it's a very complicated legacy. Like, it's a very complicated.
I mean, life is complicated. Period.
And he doesn't have a good legacy. I'm not saying like he's a good guy at all. I'm just saying the going online shitting on a dead guy to make yourself feel better. I don't know if it helps the situation, and I don't know. I just find that a little strange. I understand if you're really frustrated, but for me, when I think about him, I go back to being like 9 or 10 years old. And that's the Hogan I remember. Even though that's not a real guy, it's a character.
Listen, while you were rooting for that chump, I was listening to Ozzy Osbourne and rooting for anybody who was fighting Hulk Hogan.
But I was a Hulkamaniac, I'm sorry to say.
Nothing wrong with that.
I would love to see you dressed as Hogan.
I loved him. I mean, I remember him coming out and, I'm an All-American, and I was like waving the American flag. I was in like the 3rd grade.
You think he was just waiting for Rick Derringer to die so he could die?
Well, Rick Derringer just died, so.
Did you guys ever drink his beer?
No.
Hogan's beer?
It's a very
real American beer.
complicated legacy because
He's had everything. What was that one? He had pasta, Hogan pasta noodles.
I will say this: the difference between him and Ozzy is Ozzy did a concert where he was like adored and loved by everybody.
Yes.
And essentially, Hogan went back to WWE like, what was it, like 3 months ago, and they booed him out of the building. And from what I heard, the boos were like, it wasn't mixed. It was like,
Yeah, I heard it was real bad.
What? Okay, when did that happen? Like, is there a specific thing they were booing him about, or has it just been all these like Dark Side of the Rings and stuff like that have just been catching up to him?
So I think it was it earlier this year or was it last year? Like late last year. It's whenever WWE did their Netflix thing.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it was due to like the political factor too.
That's right. He was at the
and he was like
huge
for the Trump rallies and stuff.
Right. I remember ripping off the shirt. That was pretty funny.
And then like the show was in LA, so.
Oh, gotcha.
I also heard he did a video with his son that was really like offensive to people because
he was big pulling on that.
Because his son almost killed his friend,
like paralyzed his friend in a bad driving accident.
To be like he was the victim, from what I hear.
Oh, really?
See, I don't know any of this. I just know when I was 10, and he was
hit by the mega nostalgia, Maddie.
Yeah,
which I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all for it. It's like it's strong.
Because I mean, for 4 years of your life. He is like, you turn on the television when you see him and he comes in the ring, you buy all the bullshit. It's funny watching him now doing those matches. You see how poorly of a wrestler he was. Like, I thought he was the greatest fighter back then.
He just couldn't lose.
No. You want to die. There's a thing. It's like live long, die early to be a hero, or live long enough to be an asshole. And I think he's lived long enough to be that asshole.
Yeah.
You guys are glossed over the biggest death of the week, Theo Huxtable.
Yeah, Maddie, what are your views on Theo?
I mean, he was great. I like the Cosby Show. I mean, another fucked up guy, and he was great on the show. And it's horrible, horrific, sad death. Just a very tragic, awful, sad death. And I don't know much about him, but he always seemed like a really good guy and very good on the show.
Theo. Yeah, he would like pop up after that show, and you're always like rooting for him. Like, come on, let this new show work out. I think he might have even directed a little bit too, but he had a good life after.
Just a very
and Chuck Mangione.
Yep, that was the other big one.
Yeah, and Ryan Sandberg.
By the way, hold on. We got to talk about Chuck Mangione for just I mean, how many people have a big hit just playing a trumpet? He just played a fucking trumpet. It was so sick.
New York.
It charted. Okay, we can talk about Ryan Sandberg now. Fine.
Ryan was just like, I wasn't a Cubs fan, but from what I remember, just an all-around great player. There wasn't a lot of second basemen that could hit home runs back then. And I remember he could hit home runs. And I don't know what more to say because he was, the Cubs were usually really bad.
Yeah.
And he was like the one good thing like on that shitty team. So, but I
did find out a fun fact about him.
What's that?
His first game was Harry Carey's first time announcing.
That's awesome.
Really?
And then his last game was Harry Carey's last time announcing.
Wow. That's really well. I think Harry Carey was the announcer for the White Sox, and the Cubs stole him away.
Well, Harry Carey was always – well, I grew up about 3 hours outside of Chicago, and I had WGN TV, and so Ryan Sandberg was like one of my favorite players. He was like beloved by everybody. Like he was just a class act, hardworking player. Everybody loved him, even on opposing teams and opposing fan bases and stuff like that. Yes. So he's one of those just kind of golden boys, like everybody just likes that guy. And it does suck that he went out at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, has anybody died since we started the show?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back now, so all the deaths can stop.
Stop.
Sorry, Poseidon. I
Only
didn't
when we
mean to
take a
upset
break.
you.
It's just when we take a break that everyone starts dropping like flies.
Yeah,
I know, right? How rude.
I had so
Um,
much to say about Ozzy and everything.
I know. There's a lot. That's why we just basically had to do a show. Even coming in on short notice, I just landed back today, but like fuck, we missed a lot. The big story going around right now is the a dildo, a lime green dildo, was thrown onto a WNBA court, and this is just to
Was
me
this in
even
Buffalo?
what's that?
Was this in Buffalo?
No, it's
Oh,
funny because that first happened in Buffalo. To me, this is just even funnier though because it's the
This is the
WNBA.
second one.
that's like dildo hit the
Well, the
tower.
Buffalo was the first.
Yeah, Buffalo was the first dildo. This one was the second dildo. We I don't know if they've caught the person yet.
I
No, what
wonder.
is it? What is the significance you think of it?
Well, it's
I just
funnier
wonder
the
how you.
NBA, WNBA,
Yeah.
like because then it's just
You
all these
think
ladies out there running around. It would have been funnier if it would have hit someone, sadly to say, like if it just would have knocked someone
how big
over.
was it?
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be a trend now? Do you think people are going to try to sneak dildos in to throw them?
I'm wondering how easy they are to sneak in.
Yeah, that's well. They wouldn't set off like a they
I
wouldn't
guess yeah,
set
the
off like a
metal.
metal
They wouldn't.
detector, but like they could start doing pat downs to see if you're carrying a dildo.
Like if you're carrying it in your shirt or something.
Yeah, or you got to like wrap behind your leg or
Yeah.
whatever
What if they're hiding it the old fashioned way?
up
What
their
is
ass.
Yeah.
what did the WNBA say about this? Have they made a statement or anything,
I don't see anything
or
yet.
just like whatever?
The smartest thing would probably just to be ignoring it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
that would absolutely be the best thing. It's funny though because it looks like a lot of the girls are just laughing about it, which is good. Because
yeah.
the announcer was like, we need to worry about the safety of these women and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's a fucking dildo.
It'd be different if it was like a hard plastic vibrator and then they get hit in the head, but it's just a little solid, it's a little dildo.
Right. I also like that it's lime green.
It would have been awesome if it was the kind that has like the suction cup on it and they get it to like
Yeah.
dip to the floor.
Or yeah, or if they could have thrown it and stuck to the backboard.
Oh, that would have been awesome. People should start bringing dildos now.
I think that should be a thing. Like they throw octopus at Red Wings games and stuff.
Yeah.
Throw dildos when your team wins.
WNBA should embrace this. Sex positive.
Well, like anything WNBA, they'll probably shit
They'll
on
fuck it
it.
up somehow.
Yes, absolutely. Whoa,
You
Maddie,
guys see
see, because
Dion cancer free?
what's that?
You see the stuff about Dion?
Oh, I didn't even know he
Yes,
had
cancer
cancer.
free.
Yeah, so like he did a big old announcement. What was it? Was it just yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He apparently he had bladder cancer.
Yeah, I saw you had to get his bladder removed.
Yeah, so he just
This
doesn't have a bladder anymore.
I don't like this. He keeps getting new health problems all the
Yeah.
time. I'm worried about him.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
worried.
apparently, like stuff like that runs in his family.
Yeah, it's really sad.
So they're going to put a porta potty on the sidelines for him.
Why don't you just wear men's diapers?
That's what I would do.
But then it's like every time he's got a weird look on his face, you'll be like, wait, is he shit?
Why don't they just have a porta potty on the sideline anyway?
That's a good question, Maddie.
One time a Patriot took a dump on the sideline.
Ew.
They covered him, like 10 guys stood around him.
What? I mean, who
It
was
happened.
that?
It was an offensive lineman.
That's disgusting, man. I can't believe you root for that
I'm
team.
just stating the facts.
Well, we're
But
happy
God bless
that
Dion for being
Dion's
okay.
alive. He's a personality that the sport really needs. So
And he's back in
hopefully,
Colorado.
this can be the
He
end
just
of
hasn't
his.
been in Colorado the whole time.
What's that?
He's back in Colorado now too. He hasn't been in Colorado all spring and summer.
Oh, it's the best time to be there too.
He's been down in Texas trying to deal with this.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine that. Maddie, so you went to the poker party, but did you? It sounded like you didn't even go to the most wild one.
What's that?
Gilbert Arenas, former NBA
Yeah.
great Gilbert Arenas, and 5 other defendants, including a suspected high-level member of an Israeli transnational organized crime group,
Oh boy.
were arrested today on federal indictments alleging they operated an illegal gambling business in which high-stakes poker games were played at an Encino mansion Arenas owned.
Yeah, the thing about that though is like I always worry about some of the places I play could be illegal, but the things that get rated have like women, prostitutes, stuff like that.
Well, they have
Are
that because they're
rated.
more high stakes too, because
Yeah, so I know
more
I don't get
money.
involved in any of that shit. I also don't play where there's rakes, so raking means like they take a profit or the house takes something.
House takes profit.
Yeah, so anywhere I play, the house doesn't take anything.
So I guess if there's
So
technically no house taking a profit, then no one is profiting from the game except the players, which maybe that makes it okay.
I think
yeah,
that makes it not gambling.
Well, it's
well,
still
you
gambling, but as
can't
long as
run an
somebody's not
illegal casino.
sponsoring
You
it,
can't take money because like casinos have to get licenses to take money for gambling. So poker is the same way, and the ones that get raided usually are taking like rakes and stuff, or they have like women doing crazy stuff, and that's where the people get in trouble. I think that's what I hear. I don't know.
That would make sense because I feel like the actual the gambling part's the lowest priority.
yeah, I think because they're being charged with running like an illegal gambling business. So if there's no house taking a rake, then there is no actual business of the gambling. It's just the players themselves. So I could see that being a nice legal loophole. Man, I need you to go to one of these though and really get in there.
I'm
Go
gonna
to one of
pass.
those Molly games.
And
Yeah,
wear a camera.
Yeah, wear a camera
I'll pass.
and ask people real personal questions.
We'll do that as an episode of Sports Hole, just the Matty cam.
Right. Just sending him in. Maddie undercover. Can he keep his cool?
Yeah, I'll pass.
ESPN is parting ways with Shannon Sharp following settlement of his rape lawsuit.
Did he last a year?
I don't know. It hadn't been that long.
I feel like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
He left Fox.
So
You want
this
to do what they do
woman,
now that they're both independent?
I bet he gets a new job in 2 years.
Where would
yeah,
he
he's
work?
got to let this blow over for a minute.
He could just do his podcast.
Well, that's the thing, though. He was about to. That the thing with his podcast is he was about to sign one of those like
Like a $70
lucrative
million.
deals, those like tens of millions, maybe $100 million deal. I think for whatever the club. What is it? Shit.
Club Shay.
Club Shay Shay. Yeah, which has had some funny shit on it. And the stuff he does with Ocho Cinco is really funny too. But now, I mean, he'll just still be making revenue from ads and stuff, but he's not going to get some insane deal like Joe Rogan level deal. This thing probably cost him at least 200-300 million
Oh, probably.
on top of whatever else he had to pay this woman too. I mean, I hope he didn't, do that.
Well,
But he went ahead and settled, and that was,
he wanted to sell this real fast.
he did. But the problem is if you do that, then that's the only sort of judgment the public has of guilt.
Yeah, now it's
And
like
so-
everything is sealed and probably shredded.
Right.
Give
So
it a
then
couple
we're like,
years,
well,
it'll
if
come
you
back.
didn't defend yourself, then you're guilty. The thing people got to remember too is there's a much lower bar for conviction judgment in civil cases as opposed
Sure.
to like a jury trial.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's really stupid. He really had built himself up as quite a
He did.
brand.
The other thing he did is he
Voting and popularity.
was very a man of morality, and that's what hurting him too, because he did call out a lot of people for shit, and then you look bad when when you're going through it yourself.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's kind of going to hurt him because he was like, he called out a lot of people.
He definitely did. And now he's going to be like, Skip,
I think
let
he'll
me
get a
back.
job.
Let's
I
do
think
another
he'll get a
show,
job.
Skip.
Skip, baby.
Skip.
I would not be surprised if he gets a job in 2 years, though.
Where would you see it, Matty?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't doubt that either because it
You can go back
wasn't
to Fox.
a conviction, but since it's the time we're in, though, people take that very seriously. But also,
Yeah.
since he will not have been to jail, they'll be like, okay, well, if you've kept your nose clean for a little while here, maybe we can
Exactly.
Go back to
consider.
Fox. Fox has what? Fox, they got Urban Meyer.
God.
They got Matty's favorite guy, Dave Portnoy, on now.
Right?
Portland's on there. I think they're going to do
For
good.
for their game day.
I think they're going to do good.
Isn't
ever
it
watch
funny
that
how
now?
like
I saw
ESPN
Dan
got rid of
Lebatard just screaming about how
the
pissed he is.
Pardon Your Take a few years ago just because of their association with the
They
Portnoy?
fired him after one show.
Right, and now Portnoy himself is a personality on a major
now
network.
he's on Fox.
I think it's going to work.
Right. Well, Fox don't care. They don't care.
Listen,
Fox,
Dan
Fox partnered
Lebatard,
with Barstool.
Dan Lebatard trashed it, and I'm like, Dan, you have you seen what ESPN is doing? They're garbage, bro.
Yeah.
You're garbage. You were good. I like Dan Lebatard, but he's been garbage for years.
Yeah.
It's like people like Barstool. What do you want? They're going to do a good job. They do care about college football. He thinks that they're coming in there to just like show TNA or something. They care about football. There's a guy named Brandon Walker that Dave Portnoy found. He's like a Southern guy. He's from Mississippi State. He's a very funny, very knowledgeable guy, and I think he is going to be the breakout star. You heard it from me. He's very good. Do you know who he is there, Jim?
I know who he is, Matty.
I think he's talented.
I've met like a couple of the smaller
Jim's just
guys.
mad he's taking his spot. That's
Jim
Jim's
would be
spot.
great on it.
He would. That's my goal is get Jim on a better show.
You just got to quit with this stupid spring football and focus on
No,
college.
dude, spring football should have a morning show.
Well, you should have been the host.
Well, if TV would come after me.
Come at me, TV.
You definitely bring coolness to it.
This is a first. Christian Wilkins, got released from the Raiders for kissing another teammate.
Is that they finally come out with the actual reason?
No, they're being coy on it, but that was sort of like the last thing he did.
Is he a good kisser?
I don't know. We got to break in and look at the HR reports. That was the thing. He
But does a lot of tongue.
It sounded like he was joking and then kissed a guy on the forehead or something, and then the guy went to HR. He was that mad about it. He's mad about that kiss.
Maybe it was like a lot of slobber.
Jim, would you go to HR if one of your guys who you lay cable with kissed you on the head?
No, one of my coworkers kissed me on the forehead. No,
Yeah.
A little homie kiss. No,
Yeah. Like, hey, Jimbo. Hey, sweetie.
I feel appreciated.
Right. Buy him a drink. Thank you.
Yeah.
Make me feel better. I need your warmth in my life. But now if anybody needs a defensive lineman, Christian Wilkins is available now.
Did you guys see like all the compilation videos of Christian Wilkins? Like
No.
in NFL files and like back at Clemson and whatnot, he would like stick his finger up people's butts all the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like in piles and whatnot. In college, he was really bad for it.
Oh.
Like when there'd be like a fumble or a pileup or something, you'd see Christian
Right.
Wilkins on top, and he'd just be sticking his finger up people's butt,
Well,
or like grabbing their nuts. Like that was a big thing he did.
that you'd hear those stories like way back in the day. I didn't know that shit was still going
I knew
on.
like
He
Brandon
did
Spikes
a
used to like.
ton.
I remember Brandon Spikes used to poke guys' eyes out, but I never heard this stuff.
Yeah, there was like a whole bunch
guy,
of
I remember there was a guy featured in one of those like
random-
Bob Uecker, Miller Lite type commercials. And my dad, he was an older player on the Cardinals when they were in St. Louis, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy's notorious for biting people under the pile." But Sticking at there was a rugby player who was pretty famous that got like banned for life for doing that too. I don't know, I guess guys don't want to be fingered in their butts.
No.
In their pile. One final story here. There's an article out today about like sort of AAU sports kind of wrecking youth sports as kids get more specialized.
I believe that.
So what these leagues are, they're pay to play, of course,
How old are
and
the kids?
then they're usually travel teams, and you specialize in one sport.
How old are the kids?
I think they're usually like late middle school to high school age.
Yeah.
I'm focused on my nephew, and he said to me the other day, well, he's been gone, but before he left, they're actually coming back today. He goes, I hope I make the AAU team.
Oh no!
And like he's 7, and so he's already sweating this fucking team, and it's like a big deal at this,
It's a big.
So they're starting him young.
So what it is too is like there's corporations behind AAU.
Sure.
There's it's sort of a pipeline to college scholarships because AAU can get these people in front of coaching staffs and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on from many different angles in this. And the bottom line is it just doesn't sound that much fun for kids, to be honest.
Well, the crazy
Never
thing
is,
like,
man.
Mine was
know
fun
about,
when you just go and playing with the fucks in your neighborhood.
I was gonna say I don't know about
it-
you guys, but like
yeah.
I was on a travel team for basketball when I was in like middle school and whatnot. But we only traveled to like other towns in Nebraska. I'm hearing these other AAU stuff and whatnot. They travel to different states.
Dude, watching the
Travel like
Tate
across the
Martell
country?
in high school, like seeing it like our high school, we'd get on a yellow school bus. I was actually,
Yeah.
I don't mean to brag to you guys, I was the stat man for my varsity basketball team for a couple of games.
It's nice.
Yeah. And we would get on a yellow school bus and go like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, go to McDonald's. These guys are going on like charter planes halfway across the country in high school. It's crazy now.
Well, I remember so we would travel, but it wasn't travel. You'd go to the next town over.
Yeah, exactly.
For play your game and come back.
And you go to McDonald's.
The only thing like this when I was growing up was hockey travel.
Yeah, hockey was.
But I think that was also because we didn't really have a hockey league in high school, so you probably had to travel. Where I'm from now has almost all the major schools have a hockey team now over there. So I'm sure maybe, but even the youth, they probably still have this travel hockey team, which is prohibitively expensive.
Well, the other problem with hockey is there's not enough ice time. So sometimes these schools are practicing at 4 in the morning.
Right.
There's not enough ice to go around for everybody. But it is crazy at such a young age. These kids are getting in planes and going places where we just got in a yellow school bus, went to the next town, got Mickey D's, lost.
Yep.
Got diarrhea, went home.
Yep. You lost twice.
Exactly.
Lost twice. I don't know. It sucks but I almost feel it's all inevitable. Like if somebody thinks they're going to get an edge at some point, somebody's going to weaponize it.
Well, it's like a parent
put like a big barrier to entry though for sports.
Well, that's my biggest problem with hockey is that it's just you have to have a special weather or arena just to play it. So you do miss out on a lot of different athletes because of the expense, the conditions you need for it. I also because I love hockey, but I just would love to see.
I played when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
It is 1991.
Yeah,
and I'm going to say to get the cheapest stuff, not used, because sometimes you can find used equipment. In 1991, was probably $300 to $400.
Right.
Get all the pads, to get good skates, the leg pads, the shoulder pads, you need elbow pads, a good stick, the shorts, the everything is like $400. A goalie is like $1,000. So today, it's got to be like $1,500 to put a kid to play hockey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just feel like it's like increasing the barrier to entry for older sport. Like if you're on a travel basketball league, like what if you can't afford to travel from like California to Florida?
Well, these are like these people are going to play for their high schools, and then they're going to do these leagues And then some people are just going to these academies now too.
Well, that's the problem with
IMG
parents
types.
because the parents go, "Oh, like I can get my kid in this," and like, look at they're flying in like first class planes, blah blah blah. They're playing like nice high schools or nice elementary schools with big gyms, and so they're like enticed by it because they all think their stupid kid's gonna be a pro, which is never gonna happen. And it's just like, let the fucking kid be a kid, man.
And as we've sort of talked about, like with all the Achilles tears happening to younger athletes, this is one of the reasons why, because they're specializing in sports as opposed to playing a different sport each season,
Yeah.
like most people used to do. So you're getting the same strain going from the same motions and doing the same skill drills and all that fun shit over and over again, as opposed
Yeah.
to moving your body in different ways by playing a different sport each season. So. Fuck if I know. Fuck if I know. All right, you guys got anything else to add before we get
Just
out of
rest
here?
in peace to the great Ozzy. And
Football
Ozzy,
this
we
week.
trust.
What's
And
that?
your Easter basket story is very touching.
Oh, I loved
Football
it.
this
I mean,
week,
I've
boys.
seen Ozzy multiple times in concert. I will say, at some point, I did feel Sharon just probably pushed him out there a little too long.
Yeah, but she meant, he would be dead in 1981 if it wasn't for her.
No, I mean she kept him relevant, and
In the
he
Motley
definitely
Crue
still
book,
loved what he was doing.
and the Motley Crue book, the way they put it is, so they went on tour with Ozzy in like 83 or 84, and they said he was out of his mind, like the whole.
Right.
That's where he licked the ants. He snorted the ants. He licked the piss.
Yeah.
He smeared shit. He thought it was funny if he took a shit and took it in his hands and put it in Tommy Lee's wall in the hotel. So they were the craziest band, and they couldn't handle him. And what would happen was they would call Sharon and they go, "You got to come on the road." And when Sharon would come on the road, he was a model citizen. And so the band hated Sharon because they weren't allowed to fuck girls. And
Right.
Nikki Sixx was telling a story where he's like, they hadn't had sex for like 2 shows. And they're like, "Please, Sharon." And she was like, "Okay, pick out a girl." Like it was like a store, like you're picking out a toy. And just pick one.
Girl shopping.
So they all hated Sharon, and they were like, Ozzy was so well behaved. And they said one night he called her and he was like going to tell her off. And he was like, "Sharon, fuck you." And she's like, "Ozzy, shut up and go to sleep." And he just shut up and went to sleep. It was amazing. But she did keep him in line. I mean, I know she pushed him out there, and there's an argument for that. But
no, I know. I mean, it's a discussion.
He lived to 76.
No, like don't get me wrong. The final show was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like the quality of bands and people that came out to see him and perform for him and with him and
charity.
It's just something you don't see that. You just
they
don't
raised
see
$200 million for charity.
Right.
And even Billy Corgan was there.
Even Corrigan, who just seems to be popping up everywhere.
I'll tell you this. I've seen an interview with Billy Corgan talk about him and Gene Simmons, 2 of the biggest arrogant egomaniacs.
Oh, God.
And both of them were as humble and as gracious in their tributes that I've ever seen. I've never seen Gene Simmons like humble.
Yeah. No.
So that tells you who Ozzy was.
It does. I mean, how many other people can just carry a show like he did with the Osbournes too? Yep. Very, very few,
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that show, when that came out, that was such a phenomenon.
It was.
Oh. Well, R.I.P. Ozzy and everybody else we talked about today, except Hulk Hogan, of course. Rotten hell.
I will remember him as me being 7 or 8, watching Saturday Night's Main Event, watching King Kong Bundy splash him 5 times, and me going to bed crying that my hero Hulk Hogan had busted ribs.
When I invent my time machine, I'm going to go back and hold 7 or 8 year old Maddie after Saturday Night's Main Event.
Great memories.
All right. Well, R.I.P. Hulkster. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.
Recap some football.
Yeah, we'll have some
Yeah.
football next week. I don't know what
You know,
fucking
I
league.
feel like Ric Flair's next, boys. I'm sorry to say that.
He's been next for a long time. He's
I
probably getting
feel like
resuscitated right now.
I feel like it's like 3 months, 6 months.
All right, let me
Sadly.
stop this show.
Oh,